Danny, I need your help today.
Okay.
The world of pickleball needs your help today. I think it's fair to say that you've been in some of the greatest locker rooms of all time. You've received some coaching from some of the greatest coaches of all time. Of course, Steve Spurrier of Florida, a lot of success there, winning the Heisman Trophy, pretty big deal. You had some experience in the NFL, playing with 4 different teams. If I'm not mistaken, did you go to NFL Europe, actually?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah?
That's right, we did. We won the World Bowl.
The World
No
Bowl.
one's probably ever heard of that.
And you were the MVP of the World Bowl. So my question for you, and I think what a lot of people want to know, is when you're training to be the best athlete you can possibly be at your sport, to play at the highest level possible, what did your practices look like?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, you know this, I found in the sport of pickleball, most people don't even practice.
That's fair.
So,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to get better at anything, you do have to practice. But, and I'm going to quote the great Morgan Evans, I heard him on one of his YouTube videos say, he said, it's not just practice that makes perfect, it's perfect practice. You've got to have practice with a purpose. And I think that's one of the things that I experienced at the different levels of professional football and college football is how the practices were really formatted, scripted, followed along to work on every detail. It's you know, the whole week is planned out when you're installing different things, what you're practicing, even down to how long each minute of each drill was to get the most that you can. Because, you know, you can't practice for forever. You only have a certain amount of time, and how do you make that time work really well?
Yeah, I love that. So I'm going to take that and we're going to apply it to pickleball today. I'm going to schedule this practice, and then maybe a week from now, you're going to schedule a practice for me. And I want to make dang sure that we get better today.
All right, let's do it.
Ready?
Let's do it.
All right, man. I know I said a week, but it's been about 10 months since I filmed that intro. I may have gotten a little behind, but I'm starting up this How to Get Better at Pickleball series, and I think this will be a great first episode with Danny Wuerffel. I love starting a practice session with some focused dinking. We're concentrating on getting low, having a short backswing, transferring weight through the ball, and then hitting our spots. This is a great way to get warmed up, but it's also super important to not take this too easy and develop bad habits, which is why we quickly transition this into a competitive game. For this game, all shots have to land in the kitchen or around the kitchen line. Typically, we play to 5 with rally scoring, and it's important to note that ATP or around the post shots are always in play no matter what the drill is. Now it's time to practice backhand dinks. Not only are we staying low, hitting with a short backswing and transferring our weight through the ball, but we're trying to be aware of the type of shot coming at us so we know what type of dink to hit back, either a lift or a push. If you're receiving an aggressive shot, then you want to lift. And if you're receiving a ball that sets up a bit higher and you don't feel that same pressure, then you want to push the ball to apply that pressure to your opponent. As we transition to this game, you can see times where the ball is coming at me fast. I lift it over the net, short into the kitchen. And when the ball sets up high and I have a lot of time, I push that ball hard to Danny's feet. And if it's comfortable to do so, I'm always going to try to take the ball out of the air. Dude, wristband, lifesaver. Good call.
Arm wristband.
Will it keep growing as I get older? As I get smarter, probably is a better way to put that.
As you care less and less about your tan. Yeah.
Next, we're going to be working on the 2 most valuable pickleball skills in my opinion, and that is resetting speed ups from the kitchen line and hitting resets while you're in the transition zone. Developing this kind of accurate and soft touch is the most important skill I've learned in pickleball. Being able to slow the game down and get balls back into play is extremely demoralizing to your opponent, and it's so valuable to have in your partner. With that being said, we're going to spend the longest time drilling these, about 30 minutes total. To work on resets, we're using a few different patterns. Pattern 1 is the dink, speed up, reset, dink, speed up, reset pattern, and then pattern 2 is the dink, speed up, counter, counter, reset pattern. Both of these patterns, if done correctly, will alternate the person hitting the speed up. Finally, we'll move back into transition zone and hit resets from there, while the other person works on attacking off the bounce and out of the air. For these, it's really important to get low and keep your paddle low. Any ball hit higher than your chest is likely going out, so there really is no need to have your paddle near your chest while you're in this position. Also, on these resets, I'm being sure to give them enough loft to make sure they go over the net and land shallow in the kitchen, while also giving me enough time to get my feet set for the next shot coming at me. Really, you never want to be getting in a hands battle while you're in transition and the other person is at the net. So keep the balls a little bit higher and give yourself time to get back into position. Next, we spent some time doing a serve and return game, but the footage was out of focus. I was getting used to my new camera 10 months ago, so I'll just show that game in a future video. The next 20 minutes is a singles drill that I got from a post that Ben Johns made. This one is amazing for your footwork, your stamina, and your touch. One person stands at the kitchen line and feeds balls to the other person who's at the baseline. So since I'm at the baseline, I'm going to be running back and forth along the baseline, alternating getting forehand drops from the right side of the court and backhand drops and drives from the left side of the court. Basically, we're just practicing dropping cross court and then dropping and driving down the line. It's a really simple drill, but it will test your stamina immensely and your focus if you go at it with a purpose. Finally, we wrapped up the day with some competitive skinny singles to implement all the things we worked on today in a competitive environment. I love playing skinny singles because it lets you practice all the different angles of a doubles game in a singles environment. You get a ton of touches this way, and it's also really helpful for teaching you to cover the middle.
Good day, man. That was fun.
Drilling. Well done.
Did you get better today?
I think so.
I got better today. I cannot wait until you get to schedule a practice for us. We're about drenched, so successful day.
Yeah, well, one other thing. This is super hard to do all the time, but when we were in football, we watched film of every practice, not just the games, every rep from every practice. You can always learn from watching yourself. You're a lot better at that than I am. I don't film very much, and so I probably have a lot of habits that I don't see. But if you ever get the chance, get a film, break it down, and make you better too.
I love it. Good. See you guys.